Hello and welcome to the channel, or welcome back. As promised, since my last video, I was going to come back and we were going to explore the mirror principle far more deeply, because there's a whole lot more to the mirror principle than just what other people are talking about. So let's dive right in. The mirror principle is the concept that the way that we see ourselves and what we put out to the world is what we get back. But there's more to it than that. What is more to that? Well, first of all, there's accountability. Accountability is going to be a really, really big one. If we don't like where we are in the world, if we don't like where we are in our lives, where we are financially, if we don't like our jobs, if we don't like our partners, if we don't like our home, we don't like the geographical location that we live in, what can we do about it? We can change. But change is hard. Most people don't want to change. And so they continue to put out the same day after day. But they expect things to turn out differently. Things will never turn out differently until we change ourselves on the inside. And part of changing ourselves on the inside is knowing when we need to be proactive in our lives and make change. When we can accept that we are where we are in the bad relationships, in the house that we hate, in the job that we don't like. We are there because we don't value ourselves enough to make the change. Now, I know that that's hard to hear. Most people don't want to hear that because that requires them to be accountable to themselves and change. That's really what the mirror principle is about. We can even grind that down a little bit more too. How do we grind that down a little bit more? We can begin to look at our triggers. We look at sometimes our victim mentality. We look at jealousy. Why are we jealous of that other person? Well, we're jealous of someone else because they got something that we thought we deserved, but we weren't putting ourselves on the pedestal that other person put themselves on. And that triggered our inner demons or our shadows and created the emotion of jealousy. But the thing is, that comes back to the mirror principle. We weren't valuing ourselves enough to put ourselves on the pedestal of feeling like we were entitled to the promotion that went to the other person. You kind of getting the idea of how this works? It's a little complicated until you really, really work with it for some time. Working with it consists of doing the inner work, doing the quiet time, doing the meditations, and looking at ourselves, looking within. Do I like who I am when I look in the mirror? Am I proud of who I am? Do I feel like I am deserving of a nicer house? Because if I don't feel deserving of a nicer house, I am reflecting that undeservedness out into the world. When it comes to a job, If you dislike your job, but you haven't even dusted off your resume, part of doing mirror principle, accountability, and shadow work is looking at why have I not dusted off my resume yet? You might not always like the answers that you get when you begin to work with the mirror principle, with accountability, and with shadow work. Most people who do this kind of work and delve into it need the support of either family, friends, a confidant, a mentor, a counselor, other types of professionals in order to help support them. Because dark night of the soul and shadow stuff bubbles to the surface. But I can tell you from experience, when you decide to do this work consciously, there are so many rewards to it. So with that, I'm going to leave off this video. Stay tuned. I'll be putting out more little tidbits like this in the very near future. Just a reminder, if you are interested in working with me, I am a certified intuitive counselor, so I might be able to help you and support you through your mirror principle, accountability, and shadow work. Take care, everyone.